Local health officials say there are currently no active mpox cases. Another person dies after yesterday's fatal collision between a motorcycle and a police vehicle. Barbadians taking advantage of swim classes offered by the National Sports Council. And in sports, the Windies vice captain is ready to settle the score with South Africa.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC Newsnight, starting now.
Good evening, I'm Pearson Bowen. There are currently no active mpox cases in Barbados, the assurance from Deputy Chief Medical Officer Dr. Arthur Phillips. It comes amid the wide circulation of a statement issued by then Minister of Health Ian Gooding-Edgell in 2022. Dr. Phillips says since the initial case, there have been 2 additional imported cases in January 2024 and a second one 6 weeks ago. He says contact tracing indicates there is no in-country spread.
The World Health Organization and Pan American Health Organization have advised that vaccines are not currently required in low-risk settings such as Barbados and the wider Caribbean. However, Barbados is part of a global community of nations and is therefore exposed to the possibility of mpox and other public health threats. The Ministry of Health and Wellness will continue to take all reasonable measures to protect the public from the importation and spread of mpox.
Residents in the city of Bridgetown will soon have a community centre to call their own. This as ground was broken near London-Bourne Towers to signal the start of the community centre. The project will take 2.5 years to complete at a cost of $7.5 million. Rachel Agard attended and she filed this report.
Almost 2 years to the date of a town hall meeting with residents in the city, ground has been broken to build a community centre. The project is being undertaken by the Community Development Department through the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment. Minister Charles Griffith says the centre will be another oasis in the city for the youth.
They need to have a facility that our young people, where siblings in the household would disrupt them from studying, can come and sit in a quiet environment and study. And this is one of the things that I'm hoping that our community centers will soon become.
The facility is to house, among other things, offices, resource rooms, a studio for aspiring artists, a large recreation room, and 2 kiosks for vending. Permanent Secretary in the ministry, Joy Adamson, says the construction of the centre represents the culmination of years of planning and consultation with residents.
The construction of this centre is timely as our communities are faced with unprecedented challenges related to criminal behaviour which threatens to undermine the societal gains which Barbados has had over the several years. The Ministry of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment is at the vanguard of offering initiatives to create safe spaces for our communities and encourage our citizens, especially the youth, to engage in wholesome activities.
Member of Parliament for the city, Corey Lane, says projects like this provide for communities to empower themselves and develop social capital in the area.
I implore, I beg, I ask, I beseech the community to take full advantage, positive advantage, and take good care of this project. Turn out, sign up, and take full participation in the courses being offered. Request the rooms, meet, plan, execute, implement, so that you, your children, and generations to come can go from poverty to prosperity.
The residents now look forward to having a place of their own. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
The Samuel Jackman Prescott Institute of Technology is reporting a significant increase in the number of applicants for this academic year. This shows there's growing interest in technical and vocational training. However, many are denied entry owing to limited resources. The issue was highlighted at the Institute's orientation sessions for new students.
The Samuel Jackman Prescott Institute of Technology is unable to provide spaces for hundreds of applicants again this year. Deputy Principal with responsibility for academic matters Brenda Osborne says the tertiary institution can only accommodate 16 students in each discipline in some cases. Ms. Osborne says this has led to complaints from parents and guardians about why their charges have not been accepted. Noting many have been disappointed again this year, Ms. Osborne tells the 550 students who gained entry for the 2024 to 2025 academic year to make the best of the opportunity.
Your mere presence at this ceremony confirms that you impressed the selection team to gain a place at the SJPI. That means the team saw something in you. Please do not disappoint them.
The deputy principal is encouraging the new students to enjoy their journey at the institution while following the code of conduct at all times. Student Romeo Skeet, a former student of Darrell Jordan Secondary School, will be pursuing studies in electrical wiring. He says he is excited to learn a new trade.
It's better to learn a trade because a trade could carry you very far in life. You know, you could be an electrician and you could go real far. But if you out here now doing these minimum wage jobs, I think you ain't really know or see no future in life. So if it is that you see a career and see something that you really want, go for it, you know, save up your money, do the course or whatever, sacrifice now so that later on things will be better for you.
Meanwhile, Lorelei Springer is studying electrical servicing technology because of her passion for music.
I chose the SJPI because it really focuses on giving a practical and theoretical experience at the same time.
There are 300 second-year students at SJPI. The students who attended 2 days of orientation interacted with representatives of financial institutions and organizations, including the Student Revolving Loan Fund at the campus. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
To news now about Barbados' growing attractiveness as a culinary center. The island is receiving accolades for its food and rum festival. The festival was officially launched at the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc. at O2 Beach Club and Spa last night. Trevor Thorpe tells us new partnerships, chefs and mixologists are at the core of this year's event.
This year's festival is being held at a time Barbados is receiving significant recognition on the global culinary stage. Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Tourism Marketing Incorporated, Andrea Franklin, says the island's exploits are appreciated.
Our very own Food and Rum Festival has been nominated for the Caribbean's Best Culinary Festival once again. Additionally, the city of Bridgetown has been recognized as a contender for the Caribbean's Best Emerging Culinary City Destination. And the Jean and Norma Holder Hospitality Institute of the Barbados Community College has earned a nomination as the Caribbean's Best Culinary Training Institution.
She has also disclosed the number of local chefs and mixologists entered in this year's festival have increased.
This speaks volumes about the extraordinary talent and dedication of our chefs, mixologists, and culinary artisans who persistently push boundaries and set new standards in the global culinary arena. And as you heard, we have 29 local, and I stress on local chefs and mixologists representing us this year in the Food and Rum Festival, and I think that's a remarkable achievement.
Director of Public Relations and Corporate Communications at the BTMI, April Thomas, has welcomed the new partners to the festival family.
It is my pleasure to announce that for 2024, our rum partners are Mount Gay Rum, serving Barbados and beyond since 1703, and West Indies Rum Distillery, featuring Stades and Planterway rums. As the birthplace of rum, this is indeed a very special category for us. In the Gold Partner category, we welcome back Roberts Manufacturing, returning for a 3rd year and bringing many of our nostalgic Bajan brands to the festival.
The month-long Barbados Food and Rum Festival will start on October 5th. Trevor Thorpe, CBC News.
Insurance officials want the problem of people driving uninsured vehicles dealt with. Chief Executive Officer of Cooperators General Insurance, Anton Lovell, is asking the Barbados Police Service to handle the situation. He says this is necessary as a new road traffic accident investigation policy is expected to come into effect next month. He was speaking at the press briefing where details about the new policy were unveiled.
Given the large number of uninsured motor vehicles on the road, we want to encourage the Commissioner of Police, License Authority, and so move quickly now to see if we could arrest the situation, because this would cause a little problem or problems with this new initiative, right, which we support.
Mr. Lovell says insurance companies want to see uninsured vehicles involved in accidents towed away and impounded.
We got to get to that stage, because if that don't occur, people move their uninsured vehicles on journey and could really impact and cause accidents further up the street or wherever they go. So it's very important that we also pay attention to that as well.
Another life has been lost as a result of that collision between a motorcycle and a police-owned vehicle along Welch's Christchurch yesterday. 35-year-old Jamal Ramsey of Browns Gap Sergeant's Village, Christchurch, has succumbed to his injuries. He was pronounced dead sometime after 10 last night while receiving medical treatment. That accident also claimed the life of his pillion rider, 22-year-old Tishana Jamelia Ward of Husband St. James. She was thrown from the motorcycle and died at the scene. Police in a statement say the accident occurred at 12:15 p.m. Both vehicles were traveling along the said road in opposite directions prior to the collision. The driver and occupants of the police-owned vehicle were unhurt. Investigations are ongoing. Well, traffic on Blackrock Main Road was today diverted after a 4-car accident. Police reports indicate the collision caused the road between Terrific Tiles and the junction at Eagle Hall to be blocked. Motorists were asked to seek alternate routes. The road has since been reopened. A 16-year-old Pylands St. Michael teenager accused of murder has been remanded to Dodds Prison after appearing in the District A Traffic Court today before Magistrate Alison Burke. Police say Kimani Kiori Straker of Martins Road was charged in connection with the murder of 17-year-old Takori Wilkinson of Princess Royal Avenue, the Pineland. Wilkinson was shot on August the 13th between 9:15 and 9:30 in the night. He was taken to the hospital where he remained on life support before he succumbed to his injuries last night. Straker was remanded to reappear in court on the 19th of September. Well, the man who viciously attacked Barbadian national Terrell Thompson, leaving him for dead at a nightclub in the UK in February, has been jailed. Krishma Anthony, 23, has been found guilty and sentenced to 27 years imprisonment for attempted murder. Thompson was stabbed in the head and sustained life-changing injuries. Anthony, who is from St. Lucia, had earlier pleaded guilty to possession of a knife blade or sharp-pointed object in a public place. Another accused, Jaleel Charles, also 23 years old, was acquitted of both charges. Terrell Thompson's mother, meanwhile, has released a statement detailing the toll the incident has taken on her son mentally, as well as the financial strain. She's thanked all who assisted the family, as well as the Thames Valley Police, for their support. We'll take a break here, but coming up, Barbadians eager to learn to swim. Barbadians are keen on learning to swim and are taking advantage of classes offered by the National Sports Council. Since expanding its Swim for Life program to accommodate citizens 40 years and over, the response has been overwhelming. As of Wednesday, 200 people have already signed up for both the Children's and Master's program. Well, the swim program for children commences on Monday and will run for 3 weeks. The Masters will get underway on the 9th of September and will end on November the 19th. Speaking on Morning Barbados, Coordinator Tracy Leacock said the program has been a success.
We want to expose as many children to swimming as possible, so it is a learn to swim. By the time the program is finished, most of the children, I would say at least 90% of the children, can comfortably swim and hold their own. So then if there was an initial fear, most children are comfortable in the water and they can then move on to start any techniques if they want to expand and just do, you know, go on to clubs and such, like if they want to have anything a little more competitive than that.
Second-in-command Supervisor of Lifeguards at the National Conservation Commission, Raul Eversley, says while participants in the Masters expressed confidence in the program, some are nervous to take to the sea. He says there are a number of reasons for them to take up swimming.
Barbados is surrounded by water, and the sea is accessible to every person here, more so than the pool. So that is why with the Masters program, we use the sea and not so the pool, right? And the Masters program is more tiered and geared to people moving. And a lot of people will tell you after they've done the program, they've lost some weight. So the goals whereby everyone goes to learn to swim, the Masters are more concerned about weight loss, health, good being, well-being, that sort of stuff. Because, you know, there are two different demographics and people think differently as they age.
Several graduates of 4 primary schools got the opportunity to tour Barbados Parliament, and they were given a first-hand look at what happens in both chambers by 2 sitting members. Rachel Agard has that story.
Students of Gordon Greenwich, St. Albans, Elliott Belgrave, and Roland Edwards primary schools are being urged to use opportunities available to them to become future leaders. The advice from Minister in the Ministry of Economic Affairs and Investment, Senator Chad Blackman. He's told the youngsters, while some of them may not become involved in lawmaking, it's important to know how the process works. The tour, which has been ongoing for some time, was organized by members of Parliament Edmund Hinkson and Colin Jordan.
And I also want to take this opportunity to call on a lot of our groups in our countries, community groups, churches, to have civics as a part of their programs. Because why? You're really preparing the next generation for leadership, but equally, you're helping that generation also to understand the entire ecosystem of how Barbados works and the importance of this. So I really want to wish all of you a fantastic time. I know you're with an excellent team, and I truly believe that in a few years to come, that all of you will be doing different things, great things, whether it be in politics, whether it be in sports, whether it be in business, whether it be in, you name it.
Mr. Jordan, who is also the Minister of Labour, says such tours are important to help the youth understand the impact of laws on people's lives.
What happens here affects you, it affects your parents, and whether or not you want to become a parliamentarian, you don't have to become a parliamentarian, but you should always be interested in what happens in Parliament. Because what happens in Parliament affects you, your siblings, your cousins, your parents, your grandparents.
The tour and speeches have left an impression on Anya Ward, who's pledged to become a minister someday.
Hi, Anaya.
Hi, Anaya.
Go ahead.
I want to be
a parliamentarian.
A parliamentarian.
And then fall.
And
walk.
I fall and walk
in the footsteps
of
my minister.
The children move on to their new schools come September. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
The University of the West Indies has launched a first-of-its-kind graduate business school. It will focus on leadership within the context of the Sustainable Development Goals. The new International School for Development Justice is funded by the Inter-American Development Bank and endorsed by the United Nations. It has been set up to respond to the need to educate and empower current and future activists and leaders. UWI Vice-Chancellor Professor Sir Hilary Beckles says it is also designed to export Caribbean knowledge.
This project then is designed to mobilize
the intellectual achievements of the people of the Caribbean, to package that experience into academic curricula and to export that curricula to the world. We have had a unique historical experience with the Sustainable Development Goals. And I know this because I was there at the beginning of the conception of these goals and participated in piloting these goals through the General Assembly of the United Nations. So I see myself as a founding member of the conception and the practicality of these goals.
The new International School for Development Justice has the support of Trinidad and Tobago's Minister of Education, Nyan Gadsby-Dolly. She says it is a proud moment for the UE as it moves into the global online education market.
As it places us, the Caribbean, into a space dominated by non-Caribbean players. It is bold, frontal action, which signals our intention to sit at all tables in all sectors. As a Caribbean woman leader, this evokes strong sentiments, as it brings to mind our assertiveness in another sphere, the region's leadership role in gender equality.
A community police officer is sending a warning about the consumption of alcohol by minors and the use of children drugs. Station Sergeant Jamal Mahan laid out his case while speaking to recipients of the Togetherness Social Group's Back to School drive.
I remember doing things because your parent might be a police officer or rather a minister. When you use these drugs in your brain, it affects everybody the same way. It will not say, oh, he's a good boy, he passed for Harrison, he passed for St. Leonard, he live in, it don't work so. His grandma's go to church every week. It don't work so. Everybody understand me clearly? So you want to stay away from the drugs.
The Togetherness Social Group, which is celebrating its 15th anniversary, has awarded 30 11-plus achievers with vouchers. President Patricia Paris says the vouchers are worth a substantial amount and are to be used to purchase back-to-school supplies for the students who are about to start secondary school next month.
This back-to-school event is a testament to our commitment to the future generations, ensuring they have the resources, guidance, and encouragement they need to succeed. The theme of today's event is a powerful reminder that every step you take from this moment forward is a step towards building your future.
What's in a now viral video, Shanique Jones, a local designer, says reality TV star Drea Michelle has copied her design. Crystal Hoyt has those details.
It was hurtful. It was very hurtful to see somebody that I admired with something so similar.
That's Shanique Jones, a Barbadian fashion designer who accused TV star and entrepreneur Drea Michelle of stealing her design. Jones took to Instagram last week, sharing how she gifted Drea 2 swimsuits while she was visiting Barbados back in 2022.
I would have seen Drea while sitting at a popular beachfront restaurant and gathered the courage after, some motivation from my friends to go over to her and ask her, one, to introduce myself, and two, to ask her if she'd be willing to accept a gift from me. This stemmed from admiring her from a business perspective and on a personal level. She has always been on the list of people that I would have loved to, have one of my swimwear pieces or even see in one of my swimwear pieces.
She'd see even more than that when Drea released Kiki as part of her Mint Swim 2024 collection, with glaring similarities to the piece Jones gifted her.
At first I didn't believe it. So I saw it and I was like, maybe I'm reading too much into this. But then I was like, no, the similarities,
too similar.
Here's a side-by-side view of the designs. And while the 32-year-old admits there's nothing truly new in fashion, she believes this is an exact copy.
Fashion is one of those industries where you see something, you may be inspired by it. Fashion constantly recycles, as some people may say. But what do you do to make it yours?
Drea responded to the now viral video that has garnered close to 300,000 views, saying she remixed her own styles. That, however, didn't stop thousands of Barbadians from flooding the Shade Room comments in defense of Jones, who's been in the business now for well over a decade. She says she's overwhelmed by the support of Barbadians, but will be doing things differently moving forward. Crystal Hoyt, CBC News.
Women are being reminded God has designed them for a purpose. The reminder is coming from Chief Executive Officer of the Small Business Association, Dr. Lynette Holder. Dr. Holder was speaking on the topic of women fulfilling their purpose at the Women of Excellence and Empowerment Ministry's King's Daughters graduation ceremony and makeover model presentation at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Center.
And those lessons that we go through, they are there to help shape and mold and structure our path. That our steps are ordered by God. And they're ordered that we can walk according to that plan that He has for us. Because why? He is the manufacturer.
The Women of Excellence Empowerment Ministries empowers individuals through teaching, training, and by the power of the spoken word. President Andrea Harris is urging the graduates from age 13 to 79 who completed that 15-week journey to remember they are destined for greatness.
Your greater is here. Along with your positional authority is also your practical authority. God has given it to you. Do not allow the enemy to deny you of what God has given to you. I declare that God has in some cases and in others is bringing a new order into your lives. This was not and will not be a wasted experience. Yes, your greater is coming. And I encourage you this evening, begin to identify your greater now.
Let's get into sports now as we're joined by Anne-Marie Burke. Anne-Marie, good evening.
Good evening to you, Pearson. And I start with some good news as Signia Globe Financial Barbados retained the 2024 West Indies Rising Stars Men's Under-17 two-day title today with an unblemished record. The Young Bajans claimed win number 3 over Guyana by an innings and 46 runs on the final day of the third round at Gilbert Park in Trinidad. Resuming on 49 for 5 in their first innings, Ghana on the 17s were bowled up for 66. Zachary Carter taking 6 for 24. Following on, the Ghana youngsters were dismissed for 76 in their second innings. Carter took 3 for 33 to have match figures of 9 for 57. Zondre Baptiste snatched 4 for 8 and RJ Gittins had 3 for 6. Barbados on the 17s will now start their title defense in the 50-over format when they face off with Guyana on the 17s again on Sunday. Now, led by skipper Haley Matthews, defending champions Barbados Royals have made a winning start to the 2024 edition of the Women's Caribbean Premier League. Playing in the opening game last night at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy in Trinidad, Matthews won the toss, sent the Ghana Amazon Warriors women into bat, and restricted them to 118 for 9 off their 20 overs. Stephanie Taylor top scored with 38. Aliyah Aline took 3 for 21, while there were 2 wickets apiece for Kiana Joseph, Matthews, and Amanda Jade Wellington. The Royals women in reply took the match right down to the wire, getting home by 1 wicket as they scored 119 for 9 with only 1 ball to spare. Player of the match, Matthews batted through the innings for 61 not out. That included 7 fours. Shabnit Ismail ended with 4 for 16. Now, the Royals women are currently back in action against the Trinbago Knight Riders women, again at Taruba. The Knight Riders are batting first, and a short while ago, the score was 33 for 4 after 6 overs. The action is live on MCTV Sports Max, that's channel 310. Well, after red ball action, the tour now switches back into T20 mode as the West Indies host South Africa in a 3-match T20 International Series starting tomorrow at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy in Trinidad and Tobago. This will be the third time this year that both teams face each other. The Windies first won the T20 series prior to the ICC Men's T20 World Cup, but then lost to the Proteas at the Super 8 stage of the big event that was hosted in the Caribbean. West Indies Vice Captain Roston Chase says it's time to settle the score.
We beat them in the last series. It was sweet, but they really beat us when it came in the World Cup. Broke our hearts and all the Caribbean people's hearts. But I just think we have to look past that now. It's gone. It's a new series. So I just think that we have to just continue what we've been doing for the past couple of years. I think that we've been really playing some good cricket this unit. We've been gelling as a family, and I really enjoy the brotherhood. I think that is what really makes us strong, because we really know everyone's strength and weakness in the team. So we just try to feed off that energy, and just try to play a good cricket. And one of our goals was to be the top T20 team in the world, and I find that we are number 4 now, so we're going in the right direction. So it's just for us to continue doing what we've been doing and try to improve on our weak areas so that we can get to that number 1 spot.
The West Indies has won 4 of their last 5 T20 series, and in the ICC Men's T20 team rankings, they're ranked 4th, while South Africa are 5th. Pearson, I take a pause here. Just note that the first T20 bowls off tomorrow at 3 p.m. Now, when I return, we saw the ladies and the men. Tonight, we're going to see the little ones flexing their muscles.
All right, Anne-Marie, thank you very much. We'll take a break here. We're coming back with tonight's business report. In business tonight, the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Nutritional Security is looking to set up a facility to facilitate advanced purchases from farmers. Minister Indar Ware provided some insight into the plan during a meeting with St. Andrew farmers at the Alling School.
If you want to plant tomatoes, you can go to the BADMC and say, I'm planting 10 acres of tomatoes, and they can work with you to see how we can do a contract to take tomatoes up front. So you have a contract before you actually have the tomatoes. And we are going to make the funds available to the BADMC to do that. But having said that, that reduces this conversation to the government doing everything. And I have said that we have reached a point now where farming, yes, should be treated as a business. Now, you took pleasure in saying you got an abundance of tomatoes and you're selling none to the supermarkets, you're going to sell all yourself. What that is basically telling me is that you can do it.
10 aspiring chefs will get a chance to rub shoulders with their celebrity counterparts at this year's Barbados Food and Rum Festival. Public Relations Director at the Barbados Tourism Marketing Incorporated, April Thomas, made the disclosure at the O2 Beach Club in St. Lawrence Gap.
As I mentioned before, our Feed the Future theme returns, and we are so happy to be once again supporting aspiring chefs in Barbados. As I mentioned before, we are proud to be pushing the next generation of culinary talent, and this year, those 10 aspiring chefs are going head-to-head for the grand prize of $3,000 cash, 1 scholarship to the Jean and Norma Holder Hospitality Institute, an internship to one of Barbados's esteemed restaurants, and of course, bragging rights.
Time now for tonight's trading report.
In Jamaica, Grace Kennedy Limited, with 2,028,137 units, was the volume leader, followed by NCB Financial Group Limited and Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited. In Trinidad and Tobago, Massey Holdings Limited was the volume leader, with 35,679 shares changing hands for a value of Trinidad and Tobago $126,394, followed by Grace Kennedy Limited. And here in Barbados, First Caribbean International Bank was the volume leader, trading 180 shares at Barbados $2.19 each, and they were followed by the West India Biscuit Company Limited.
That's tonight's business report. We'll take a break here. We're coming back with a look at the weather with Carrie Ann O'Neill. And for tonight's weather report, we're joined by Carrie-Ann O'Neill. Carrie-Ann, good evening.
Good evening to you, Pearson, and good evening, everyone. In the forecast for tomorrow, the sun is expected to rise at 5:46 and will set at 15 minutes past 6. The first high tide, that's expected at 16 minutes after 6, low tide at 7 minutes past noon. The seas are calm to moderate in open water, with swells peaking at 1.5 meters. The winds, they're coming in from the east, and they're peaking at 30 kilometers per hour. For us here in Barbados tonight, the shear line is expected to impact us. We are expecting it to be clear at first, becoming cloudy along with some showers and a very slight chance of some isolated thunderstorms. Over the next 3 days, the shear line will maintain some showers tomorrow. Thereafter, we are expecting a trough system to maintain occasionally cloudy skies along with some showers.
Let's get back to some more sports. Let's get back to Anne-Marie Burke.
Well, Pearson, now the Northern Ireland Warriors are here to beat the Barbados Gems and win the 2024 Paradise Cup. Well, that's the intention of head coach Sanoa Forbes, as she gave a media interview 2 days before the series begins. The 3-test series is aimed at improving the world rankings of the winner.
It's probably the most competitive international competition we have had since the Commonwealth Games in 2022. So the girls have been training all year in various camps once a month. So we've come together and trained, and it will be great to see what they put out in this test series against the Bajan Gems. So we're looking to put out a really great game, a good spectacle for the spectators here in Barbados, and for anyone who watches online, and hopefully we come out with the wins.
The first test against the senior Barbados team is on Saturday at 8 p.m. at the Wildy Gym. Now we close out our review of the National Bodybuilding and Fitness Championships with the junior athletes. For the first time this year, there was a children's fitness competition. Let's take a look. And the little ones shall lead them. These are your under 7 fitness competitors, Zara Kaylee Mars and Shania Sargent. This is the pose-off section of their competition, and both girls were really showing off their form. That was after both little ladies had completed a routine, Mars opting for a patriotic number and showed off her strength and agility. But of the two, it was Sargent who was declared as champion. Her flexibility and level of difficulty was a bit higher, and she executed like the little champ she is to take the under 7 girls national fitness title. The other national junior champions were solo competitors in their age groups. 9-year-old Araya Baino from Acroflex Gymnastics. Again, it's all about showing off agility, balance, and flexibility. 10-year-old Lilani Webb, who showed her tumbling ability, was a national champion in that age group, adding that extra smile to woo the judges and the crowd. Tyrena Straker in the 12-year-old category right off the bat started her routine, which was Lion King inspired, with a high difficulty exercise. And then went into a short creative movement piece, and oh yes, there's that smile. It was a fun routine for 14-year-old Kiana Straker, who mixed showmanship and athletic ability to impress the judges. A student at Tumblebug's Kids Gymnastics, they should be proud of her performance to capture the national title. And rounding out the junior female fitness champions was 15-year-old Soraya Baird, also of Tumblebug's Kids Gymnastics. She too showed off the agility of her tumbling skills, taught by some strength skills. These are the little ones who in a few years' time will be in the big leagues of fitness. Not to be left out, the boys. Our 8-9 champion, Aaron Small of Acroflex Gymnastics. It was all about that extra power in showcasing his tumbling skills. Yes, that was a one-hand flip. And his teammate Aiden Cummings is your 10-11 boys national champion, also showing that his tumbling, flipping, and agility skills are that of a winner. The little ones also got their time on the big stage. And Pearson, that's it for sports.
Anne-Marie, thank you so much. We'll take a break. We're coming back in just a moment. Well, that's our time tonight. Thank you for spending it with us. I'm Pearson Bowen. For the crew, to all of you, good night. By God's will, we will see you tomorrow.